So the first of the 4 use cases is this one. I'm personally very excited about this. I've had a chance to work with some really great sales leaders on setting up inbound and outbound processes, and this one is for those organizations that are really looking for account-based marketing and have a targeted list of accounts that they're going after. So, everyone knows that, a lot of people come to your website. Maybe 90% of visitors don't actually fill out a form if you're a B2B company. But there's an important new set of technology out there that every sales organization can use, and it's called IP address matching, right? So they come to the website, you can look up, hey, what IP did they come from? Oh, what company corresponds to that IP? Is that company on your target list of accounts? Chances are there's a subset that are. So that means they're coming to your website. You don't know about it. You don't know that, say, I don't know, Wells Fargo or AT&T was on your account, on your website. But with IP address lookup, you can now know that. It can now be presented within your CRM, within your marketing automation tool. And now there's also tools out there that do data enrichment. We happen to use Clearbit. There's a lot of other vendors that do data enrichment. And so if you have an account like Wells Fargo, they're going to help you find all the contact info you can around people at that account, which means you now have a prospect list. And then finally, you have to ask yourself, would you rather cold call or cold email, or would you rather call on warm target accounts? And we now have technology like SDR outreach automation to do so and do it really effectively. And so what I'm saying here is there's a really cool workflow that we're using here internally and a few others to really target those accounts that are in our key account list that are already familiar with Tray. They may have not filled out a form, but they've come onto our website. And so we want to be able to proactively ping them and engage them further as part of our outbound processes. So this is a really exciting one. I want to pass it over to Mr. Andrew Wiseman to show you what this looks like in Tray.
Cool. Thanks, Alex. Let me just share my screen here. So essentially how this workflow works is Segment is a connected source to your homepage, and every time a new user views your homepage, Segment automatically collects their IP address. That is sent to this workflow in real time as a Segment destination, and as soon as we catch that new IP address, we process the data instantly. One cool thing about this flow is if you have hundreds of users viewing your page, there'll be no slowdown of the flow. We can process as many users as you need concurrently, so you'll never have to worry that this flow would slow down for larger data payloads. So what happens within the flow is the Segment trigger comes in. Essentially just set up Tray as a destination in our Segment account. We determine if the view is a homepage view because we're specifically interested in people who are just viewing their homepage, as that's a new visitor to the site. We make a small check to data storage. For this specific example, we only want to record each person one time. This is the first step that we use for deduplicating data. So every IP address is only processed one time. This both helps keep down your Clearbit reveal calls and ensure that any processing of these new users isn't done too many times. So we determine and say, hey, is this a new user to our site? So if the IP address has not been seen before, then we mark it as seen. We do a quick call to the Clearbit Reveal API. So this is our Clearbit connector. This is just a visual representation of the entire Clearbit API. So all we have to do is pass an IP address to Reveal. You can select from any of the Clearbit APIs in this drop-down menu. But for the example, we've chosen Reveal. And as you can see here, Reveal returns this entire set of data from a simple API call using an IP address. So we can get domain, employee information, and whatnot, and use any of these data attributes later in our workflow. So the data attribute we've chosen to use is the employee count. So we've decided to say, hey, is the company that we just discovered from this IP address call, do they have greater than 250 employees? So to make it 250, I simply just type in 250 to this box. So was the result of this Clearbit call greater than 250? If yes, then we go ahead and run the rest of the logic. If no, it's not. We've decided that we don't want to run the remaining logic and add it as a contact to our HubSpot. So if it has more than 250, we find the company in our HubSpot that the Clearbit reveal returned. If the company is not found as already existing, we go ahead and create a company just so that we can reference them later. Then we do a Clearbit prospecting call using another one of the APIs. So Prospector essentially takes in a domain, and it takes in the domain that we found in the reveal call, and we can look up contacts in specific departments. And it's easy enough to just select whatever department you're interested in here. We've selected marketing for the demo. You can also do things like select seniority and title, and then you get this entire payload of data back. So we pull back everyone from the marketing department of this company that we just essentially discovered from only an IP address. We loop through each member of the marketing department, and we add them to HubSpot as a contact under the company that we've just created. And it's very easy from here to swap out these HubSpot connectors for your CRM of choice. So if you're using, Salesforce or Dynamics or NetSuite, it's very easy to just swap these out. And maybe you want them in your CRM as well as some type of marketing software. You could easily map this into Marketo. You could easily move these into some type of outreach campaign based on the company size. So it's a really kind of good foundation to get creative off of. And if you'll notice, this workflow is only about 15 steps. Probably would take someone familiar with Tray under an hour to configure, and a new user maybe 2 hours, which is extremely fast and easy for this type of logic.
Great. All right, Andrew, so let me just sum up what we just saw. We're sensing who's coming to the website, using some tools to basically either determine whether they're new or not, and creating new accounts or enriching the accounts we have. And this is helping us to really just pinpoint and target people that are already open to our company. So outbound, again, gets a lot better with a workflow like this.